Hello, it's Laura here from makingcardsisfun.com. Today I'm here with a card for Cloud9 Crafts. In this video, I'll be creating a mermaid pop-up box card featuring lawn fawn stamps and dies. I started out by stamping stamps from the Mermaid for You, the Fantastic Friends, and the Seahorsin Around stamp sets from Lawn Fawn on Nina Solar White cardstock using Memento Tuxedo Black ink. I am coloring each image using Copic sketch markers, and I am listing the colors that I used here on the screen so you can see that. I always like to start out with my lightest color, then I use my darkest color to add my first layer of shading, then I blend that out with my mid-tone color, and finally I go back in with that lightest color to blend everything out and to add some highlight. The reason why I always start out with my lightest color first is because this just makes it a little bit easier to blend out the other colors since your paper will be saturated, and that will make it just a little bit easier and faster to get those colors moving around and to achieve some really easy blending. There are many talented Copic marker artists out there, and they do a terrific job at Copic coloring. I still need some practice because sometimes I tend to overblend. But I think that's just because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and I usually am not very happy with my results, so I just keep blending and blending and blending. But that's really not that good because then you will kind of get rid of some of those shadows. Most of all, you won't really be able to see the darkest shade you used when you overblend. Now that I colored all of my images, it's time to cut them out using the coordinating dies. Then I die cut these front panels from the Lawn Fawn Scalloped box card pop-up die cut set. I die cut the largest rectangle twice and then the smaller rectangle twice more. I'm ink blending using Distress Oxide ink pads. The first color I am using is Salty Ocean. I am blending from the top to the bottom with this color, and then for the Wilted Violet I'm doing the opposite, so I am blending from the bottom to the top, and then I always switch back and forth between those two colors in order to get a nice and smooth blend. I wanted to make this card look like an underwater scene, and I really wanted to go for a blue and purple color scheme. So in the beginning of this video, when I'm Copic coloring, you probably noticed that I showed you different colors than the colors that I will be using in the end of this video. So I actually had to go back and stamp some of my images again, color them again, just to really make them match with that purple and blue color scheme. Now that I ink blended my front panels, I'm going to add some extra detail to it. I used a mist bottle to add some water splatters, and I'm also going in with the Lawn Fawn liquid stardust and some water. So I am mixing some of that liquid stardust, and as you can see, you only need a very small amount. I am mixing that with my liquid stardust and water. Then I'm adding some splatters to my paper, and I'm also going in with some watercolor paints from the Kuretake Gansai Tambi watercolor set. So there you go. By the way, I also wanted to mention that the blending brushes I'm using for my Distress Oxide ink pads are the blending brushes from Lifestyle Crafts. I die cut two of the inserts for my Scalloped box card pop-up. So this die also comes with the die cut set to create this card design, and I added color to that using Antique Linen Distress Oxide ink pad, and then I went in with some watercolor splatters. I'm going to stamp some coral and seaweed from the Mermaid for You and the Seahorsin Around stamp set from Fawn on some Nina Solar White cardstock using different types of dye ink, and I used my mini Misty tool to stamp those stamps because these are solid designs, and sometimes with these solid stamps, you won't have a very great or solid expression from the first time, so then you have to go back in and stamp that once again, or just stamp over that, so you have two layers of ink. And the mini Misty tool, or the Misty tool in general, makes it so much easier because your paper and your stamp is just in the exact same position. I use my Fawn stamp chamois to clean my stamps in between switching colors, because this is just a really easy way to really clean your stamp and to make sure that it's not stained from your other color. I went ahead and did some partial die cutting just to die cut those scalloped edges of my scalloped box card pop-up design once more, because my die cut machine actually left some little marks on the inside of my pop-up card box, or box pop-up cards. I'm not sure. I always switch up the words. But anyway, you know what I mean. So I just had to die cut that once again. And then after I did that, I am adhering my ink blended piece to the inside of my scalloped rectangle. There you go. Now I die cut this or I cut the main box panel twice out of some colored cardstock from Fawn, and now I am folding the tabs along the score lines. So it's really easy, you just have to follow those score lines. And I'm adding some double-sided tape adhesive to both of the tabs. So I'm using this 1/8 of an inch score tape. I am just burnishing that adhesive using my bone folder to make sure it's transferred completely on my cardstock. Now I am removing my backer sheet, and now it is time to form the box by adhering the tab of one panel to the other. And then I have my little inserts over here, and I'm going to repeat those same steps. So I am folding along those score lines, and then I'm going to apply some of that double-sided score tape. So there you go. It's really quite easy. In my opinion, this is the easiest interactive card to make. I usually have a little bit of trouble when I am making like the magic picture changer from Fawn, but this one is really easy and really fast, and I really like it because there are just so many possibilities. So I like to adhere my tabs before closing up my box, so I'm just lining that up. You can pick how many tabs you want to use. You could use as many as you want. I decided to use 2. Now that I positioned my tabs, I am going to close my box, and then you will have your finished or ready to decorate pop-up box card. I have my little inserts over here, and I am adhering them to the sides or the inside of my pop-up box card using my ATG from Scotch. I'm always making sure that the blue of my ink blended background is on the top and then the purple on the bottom. I die cut this stitched wavy border from the wavy sayings, or no, fancy wavy border die cut set from Fawn, I believe. I die cut one banner from using the Spiffy Speckles paper pad from Fawn, and then I'm stamping a happy birthday sentiment using Memento Tuxedo Black ink. Now that I have all of my elements, it's time to start decorating, and this is my favorite part, probably also the part where I spend the most time on. I'm adhering each image using foam tape. This time I actually used foam tape in 2 different thicknesses. Is that even a word? Thicknesses? But anyway, you know what I mean, right? So I use two types of foam squares. Then I'm also going in with my Lawn Fawn glue tube. As always, I'm using my EK Success tweezers to position all of my images because these are just a life changer or game changer to me. I really use them in all of my videos. I'm also using these really thin strips of acetate to make my images look like they are floating. I'm using some more of that double-sided score tape to adhere my image to my little piece of acetate and to adhere it on the inside of my box card. And then I can just position that where I want, and then it will kind of look like your images are floating around. And I really like this. I've seen lots of people doing it, and it's really such a fun way to add even more of an interactive touch to your pop-up box card. Of course, I am finishing off with a layer of glossy accents and a coat of the Crafter's Companion Clear Sparkle Pen. So there you go, that finishes up my Lawn Fawn Mermaid pop-up box card. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and click the notification bell below. I will see you very soon. Bye bye!